Welcome everybody, Derek Sue, your 2022 Oakland mayoral candidate. Today I'm out here at Middle Harbor Shoreline Park. And if you've been keeping up with what I've been talking about and what Rebecca Kaplan has been talking about a cruise ship housing program that we've been talking about here in Oakland. And I want to take you to the site, the actual site where this can actually work. And we've been working behind the scenes real diligently here, and I wanted to bring you out here to Shoreline Park so that you can actually see what we're talking about. So I'm here right now, and we're going to go for a short little walk, but you'll see some things around here and how this space can actually be very useful for that cruise ship program. And so we're going to go take a walk, and I'm going to show you some things around the area, some of the benefits that we have here, and it's going to be incredible. So anyway, I'm going to flip this around and we'll be right back. Welcome back everybody. Here we are, we're on the promenade area. What this area used to be back in the 60s, 70s, this was actually Military Sea Lift Command. And this was an area where MSC stored rapid deployment ships. And MSC would normally keep about eight vessels out here, plus 2 hospital ships in this location. How do I know? Because my dad worked on this very spot. I used to come here as a youngster onto the military base and look at stuff. So I'm very familiar with this area. And if you look behind me, you see way in the background the end of Port of Oakland. And then we're outside of all port operations and security zones. So this makes this location a perfect opportunity and a perfect location to put up the cruise ship housing program. It's right here in Middle Harbor. There's very little going on. If you see, there's literally nobody here. This is one of the underutilized spots of Oakland that I've been talking about. This is the area here, the harbor itself. If I'll turn around and you look behind me, that's 101 acres of open space. And the ships here, if we go ahead and move forward with the retired cruise ship program, this will not only provide up to 12,000 beds, but also this will become the fallback emergency housing for anyone throughout Alameda County, Oakland. And they'll be guaranteed at least a bed here while we help them get back on their feet. So this is the final stop. If you're headed in a downward spiral, this is where you're going to end up here on board the cruise ships if things move forward as we're hoping that they will, because that's step 1. And then when we move on to step 2, you've already kind of seen what we're doing. We're looking at tiny home villages, and what we're going to be doing when I get into office is that we'll be looking at taking back abandoned properties throughout Oakland. And those abandoned properties are back taxes that have not been paid for a minimum of 5 years plus. And so that allows us to actually eminent domain those properties back into Oakland. So that's going to be the first step for the tiny home villages. And there's a whole purpose for the tiny home villages and a lot different community than what we've been typically accustomed to hearing about on the internet. So the tiny home villages that I propose for Oakland will be available to all Oaklanders regardless of your income. But preference will be shown for school teachers, first responders, and then also we're going to have first responders in hospitals, medical centers. So we're going to set up so that folks can actually afford to live here in Oakland once again. And how it starts off is by bringing in some cruise ships here. We're going to start off, we have already a bunch of ships that we've identified and have got commitments on. So that's not a problem. The cost, here's the great thing, the cost to Oakland, if we play this right, we do this the way that I proposed, there's no cost to Oakland. literally, there's no cost to Oakland other than the residents that go onto those ships. So it saves the city a whole bunch of money. We're dealing with a lot fewer agencies. We have a huge area behind us to get people back on their feet. Housing, off the streets housing, and housing is one of the most important things that we have to deal with right now. So behind me you see a park, so that the folks, when they come off the ships, they have somewhere they can come hang out and just enjoy the day. There's transportation, public transportation, a short distance away at BART. We have AC Transit, and then also you have your typical parking lot as you see behind me. So there's plenty of room and space for everything. We can accommodate a lot of different things here. Also with the Shoreline Park, we have the parking lot. We can set up vendors. We can also do a lot of different things with this particular area, and we can bring back recreational, and we can truly bring in affordable housing with the tiny home villages. Tiny home villages, we figure that the typical tiny home in that village will be about $10,000, your total cost. That's your entry. And then as you move up, or you want something different, it's going to be a whole different program than what you're used to seeing, and it's very beneficial. It pays for itself, and doesn't cost us, the taxpayers, anything. So with Oakland being $2 billion in debt, they can't afford anything to begin with. Then our city credit rating is crap. So Oakland's really in a bind, and we need to come up with solutions that doesn't cost Oakland a tremendous amount of money. And so that's what this program does. The cruise ship program is self-funding, so it costs the taxpayers and the folks here in Oakland virtually nothing. Tiny home villages, we're taking back property, real estate. We're going to have them under stewardship programs with 501s. So there's going to be a big change coming. There's a big change coming when you elect me into the mayor's office in 2022. So that's some of the plans. I wanted you to see some of the area. I mean, it's a beautiful area here, and there's a lot of room. There's a tremendous amount of growth, and as you see, it's very underutilized. And then if I go behind me, you see the port operations right behind me. So those run 24/7, so we're not worried about that portion. We're outside of the security zones for all port operations. This is just a beautiful spot and a location that we could really start solving Oakland's issues and problems that we've been dealing with for decades. And now this gives us an actual opportunity financially and with actual scope of the mission to actually accomplish getting homeless folks off the streets permanently here in Oakland. So stay with me, we'll be right back.